computer. Hello, everyone. Hello, Facebook friends. We tried to do a Facebook Live, but we are having tech difficulties, so we're going to figure that out later. But I am so excited. I'm going to do a quick interview with my dear friend, Natalie Timbrook. And I don't expect anyone to remember this, but Natalie has an incredible, incredible Lyme story. She's one of the stories with activation that really holds dear to my heart. And so I jumped on with her with interviews, like 5 years ago, Natalie?
Yep.
And so it's amazing to me to see her progress. So she went from basically you guys bedridden for 3 years with a severe chronic Lyme, and we're going to get into her story. Um, Tons of money spent on allopathic medicine, tons of money spent on holistic medicine, the very best of the best. They tried everything, and then they tried activation. So it's a really, really awesome story. I do want to invite you to our wellness group to read those stories. But for now, I'm going to ask Natalie to share that story with us a little bit. And then we're going to kind of share her story and what she's been up to the last 5 years, which also has me like super excited. So Natalie, you look like just a picture of health. I love talking to you on the phone earlier. Can you like just take us through like how old you were, what happened, like what was it like 3 years in bed, and just a little bit about what you how you were physically to look at. You can see that in the pictures in our wellness group, but just take us through a little bit of that.
Yeah. Okay. So first things first, to clear the air. If I would say that I am not nervous to even just like get it back on online and just get out there like this, I would be lying. But just to kind of get the jitters out, yeah, it's been about 5 years now. I'm 30 now. I think when we first connected, I was 24, 25,
Mhm.
right before I got married. And I was at the tail end of my treatment, but also the beginning of using these products. And like you said, I saw everyone under the sun at Cedar Sinai out in LA to just infectious disease specialists upstate in California. I saw a lot of integrative practitioners in a lot of different fields. And this was something that just very quickly made a turnaround in my body to help detox the treatments that I was using at the time. And a lot of them are like kind of like chemo on the body, the die off and everything like that. But I quickly started sharing, and I shared with actually like the doctors that I was working with, and they started sharing. And so I felt like it was a really neat, like kind of like momentum of traction and just starting out with Life Vantage. And just as like a patient coming from like the patient perspective to now sharing the science behind it and learning so quickly, like there's phenomenal research, clinical studies on these products. I personally have a degree in biology and kinesiology, so like a pre-med background. So when I saw this, I was like, wow, this is really the cream of the crop. It's not just like some funky like business setup where they're just trying to get people hooked. Like there's actual science on how it works for everyone, just from the cells up. And I just found that so compelling. So I started sharing it right away. But I quickly learned, like after about a year and a half of just going like balls to the wall, of just me needing some time just to actually heal from the mental load of going through treatment, and what that actually kind of meant to me. And I quickly, became pregnant and just wanted a little bit of time with the family. But it's been about 5 years now, and I absolutely have different whys, which we can get into.
That's
But uh, yeah, that's like where I'm at.
I want to even back it up a little bit because when you said balls to the walls, like sharing this, you were so passionate about it. But when and you went hard and fast because when I met you, you had just come out of 3 years in bed. And so those pictures are so sad. You're so skinny.
I
What
know.
does it mean 3 years in bed? Like you were about 21 years old, 21 to 24.
Yeah, 22. I mean, it's like it was, I feel like I was still in like, I was mentally in an okay space because I've always had a deep faith in the Lord. But like seeing your best friends get married and move on and go finish up at grad school. I was on the track for PA school or PT school. So all my friends are finishing up school. And it's not that I was ever jealous, but it was just like a long, like time went so slow. Every hour of the day felt like, I mean, after so much time, it just felt like this sounds so sad to say, but like I remember looking at the mailman and being jealous of
Wow.
him getting like the ability to go outside and like do a job. Not like a bad jealousy, but that's
Wow.
really what
Do you know what? I hope everyone listening just pauses on what you just said and don't take health for granted. It's something that everyone
never.
takes for granted until you don't have it. Health is the ultimate wealth. Like you, and I was telling my husband, Natalie, like with how toxic the world is, we focus on prevention now. We're not going to wait till we have a diagnosis. It's all about prevention right now. And that's again why
Absolutely.
I love these products. But you did this interview with me, and I'll tag you guys in the interview in the group. But I was amazed because you were 3 months. All right, so let's say you're three years in bed. You are
Yeah.
trying everything. You were give me some of the things you tried holistically. You tried
Oh
hyperbaric
my gosh.
chamber.
We had a hyperbaric chamber donated to our house, which was so sweet. I did methylene blue treatment. I did UBLRX, which is it was like a type of like IV treatment at the research hospital. I did Rife therapy, which a lot of people in especially the Lyme community are familiar with. I dabbled with a lot of clinical trials in treatments that were similar to HIV treatment, just for immune modulation.
So
And then a ton of like John Hopkins protocols that were still like in a way integrative. I even went as far as I had a specialist out in LA who I come to find she's Justin Bieber's doctor, which is so random,
ooh.
but I had Justin Bieber's doctor. Anywho, she would do these herbal infusions, herbal IVs, which honestly is so dangerous. Don't
Wow.
recommend that ever, 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 ever. I did a lot of things that I look back and I'm even like, oh my gosh, that was in a way desperate, but I would never recommend a lot of the things.
And
It was just,
Justin Bieber needs activation right now.
he does. He does. Maybe we can get in touch with him.
Call that doctor. That's what you need to do.
I
So like,
can.
you, how much? I remember. Am I right to say was it $180,000 you were spending?
About 110, and that was the allocation that I had to go for med school. That it didn't get spent. It was not meant to be spent on med school, but that was about 110,000.
To get you well.
Yeah, well, and at least until we found activation and these products through a friend. Yeah,
And how did you find activation? And then just tell us the story of like what it was like. I think you have a aha moment 3 days after activation.
yeah.
And so can you
I
take us
had
like you were taking how many pills before that?
Yeah, I was taking about 43. I had about 8 hours worth of infusions a day. And I had a really close friend who was just as sick as I, who I saw on Facebook went on a vacation with her family. And so for us at the time to go on a vacation, that's a big deal. And I reached out to her. I was like, hey, like, it seems like you're doing good. Like, don't want to assume, but like, are you doing anything? And she was like, it's this thing called the little yellow pill. And I got it from Jenny Crane. And I was like, who's Jenny Crane? What's this little yellow pill, tongue twister? And she went kind of like 0 dark 30 because she was on vacation. I remember being over my phone for like a week with like my
Tell
eye.
me.
What is this? And I'm like Googling it. I'm like, is this a scam? Blah, 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 blah. And then finally got in touch with Jenny, and Jenny was so sweet. Like she wasn't like pushing anything on me. She even like, it took me like 2 weeks to get my family on board. You know how it is,
Yeah.
where it's like, you got to really think about it. You want to be a qualitative consumer of information. So yeah, it took me about 2 weeks. And then I started, and it was so crazy because like my progress was so positive that my doctor, yeah, my doctors were just like, what are you taking? Like, can I see it? So here I am, like pre-med student sending, research articles and all the things. And a lot of them were like, oh my, like, let's get my patients on board. So that's really, I became like a spokesperson pretty quickly for a lot of the specialists I was working under, which was
Wow.
really empowering and super good. But like I said, things were super fast where like I took a good amount of time once we moved out to Indiana just to kind of reset and yeah,
Well,
just have like a fresh pause.
well, a lot happened because you went from bed rest, being on bed, And then literally 3 days after activation saying, I'm back. I was remember you saying that in your stories, just not being healed, not anything like that, but just suddenly being like, something's happening, something's clicking, and I'm coming back. And then 6 months later, you were surfing.
Yes.
6 months later, you were surfing,
Met
and
the love
then
of my
you meet
life.
this guy, and then you fall in love, and then you have the most like romantic engagement pictures. And we're all watching this, and it was so amazing. And then because I'm just going to get everyone caught up to date because and then sharing with these doctors about what activation is and suddenly booming your business real quick because of your story. And then you just fell in love, got married, had babies, and just wanted to
Healthy.
enjoy that 100%. And so what we were talking about today is your perspective on the business has totally changed because at the time you didn't have that need for a business. You were single, you were just happy to be healthy, the extra money was great. But all of a sudden you're a mom, you have two beautiful babies. And so all of a sudden, because I know you just came back on our radar and you're like, guys, I'm back. I'm ready to like business side and do that. So tell us like a little bit about that because I am equally passionate about activation and then activating the freedom lifestyle.
Yeah.
Our life has completely changed in the 5.5 years that we've done this, and it continues to change. It continues to compound, but it's not just my family's life that changes, Natalie, and you know this. It's it's a trickle effect of goodness. So that just cast that it's a cascade effect. It's a domino effect of like affecting another person's life and another family's life and helping another person find help and finding another person detox and just I mean, my phone is loaded up with stories and feedback from all my happy customers. And it just like, it's so soul filling. And then I have my team that wants better things for their family. They want to be able to afford things that natural health, a chiropractor, all the things that our
Mhm.
insurance doesn't pay for. They want to be able to have more time together as a family.
Mhm.
And this is that doing that for them. And they can do it
Yeah.
in pockets of time during their day.
Totally. Totally. Yeah. I mean, there's so much you touched on there, but I think the fact of, I mean, for me personally, I'm 30. My husband and I are we equally want to pour into our kids and teach our kids. And for that kind of probably means homeschool. And so I currently went back to work in this last season to kind of gift my husband the time to be with them during the day as I was able to be home with the kids for the last like 3 years. And I think in that time of going back to work full time, it was just like this aha moment of like, I'm thankful to be in work. I've never really had this opportunity since Lyme to like be in a full time like corporate
Oh
work
my gosh,
environment.
I didn't record. Oh, I did record. I'm recording. We're good. Keep going. I almost had a freak out because it was so
It's
good.
okay. It's okay. I
You're good.
understand.
But you were gifting him the time to be with the children, which I
Yeah.
love because we don't think about that in our modern society. We think traditional is stay at home mom and go to work all day dad.
Yeah, which is
That's
so
not traditional.
bogus, and it like which is a whole other tangent on it in of itself. Like let's allow like the men the equal opportunity. Like it's not that we don't not want to be working. We want to be with our kids and pour into them while we're working. Because I will say, and you would agree, doing this side of the business, like it's still work. It's really good work though.
Yeah.
It's where you can work out of a place of rest, and you can work as little as much as you feel like you're led to. So, anywho, I am fully in this place where, like, yeah, I went back to work, corporate environment. It was really neat. It was really insightful to be in that place. Very grateful for the opportunity. But I just, like, I felt like I kept running into people all the time on the job who were like, hey, like, you seem like you're, like, really into health or whatever. Like, can you share something? And I wouldn't even ask them. Like, I literally
Wow.
kept having people, I was starting to kind of share things, and I thought I started also applying to a lot of other jobs in this last like month. And I thought, you know what? We have something so good here. I'm able to also provide something, share with friends, especially like single mama friends, people out in the community, people I'm doing health coaching with, because I'm also doing integrative health coaching as well. And like you get to a point, there's so many things we could touch on. Like when you're helping someone where you
And
just,
you're also, sorry, I didn't mean to cut
no,
you.
no, you're good. You're good.
I was going to say we also bypass, like I know so many people who go to naturopathic doctors, but they're also doing like educated guessing. And so they'll spend a lot of money on testing, they'll spend a lot of money on supplements. And it's just like, I think this is going to work for you. Let's try it out. What I love is we actually save people money because we go straight to the root. We go straight to the body and let the body figure those things out. Like the body has its own naturopathic doctor inside that we're like, okay, get to work, figure it out. And I feel like that's so empowering. And because it gets straight to the root cause, you end up saving people so much money.
I absolutely agree. I think that you can absolutely, I mean, I think there's still like, because I am working underneath a physician remote in a sense, and I think there's still, for very complex cases, like similar to mine, I
Yes.
wouldn't necessarily
Yes.
say like activation is going to be like your perfect one-stop shop for like really complex, extremely severely immunocompromised patients. There might be another little tidbit to where your body's going to tolerate the treatment, if that makes sense. But for like probably 90% like general public, absolutely. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but don't some of these products like help detox heavy metals. It's going to help boost your immune system to where it's going to fight off the protozoal infections, the bacterial, the fungal infections. So there are a lot of things that
Look,
it does touch.
do you know what I find? I find it when we approach the layer effect, and what I've worked with other doctors is it's a layer effect. So we go to the first layer of healing, the detox, then we build up the mitochondria, then I'm looking at the gut, and if you do it in those layers, and then afterwards, I feel like okay, then we can address other areas. But I feel like that's always going to be your baseline and the foundation upon which you're going to have a healthy body, right?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, you would agree it all comes down to oxidative stress, what your load of inflammation might be, what your like natural biochemical load is in your cells, what you can detox. Because if you're not detoxing correctly, you're gonna feel crappy.
Do you know, I want to, one thing I noticed you guys about Natalie when we were talking and catching up, I was like, Natalie, you talk so different now. Like I didn't realize how so and also this is to say this is not like overnight a Tylenol, your headache goes away. This is like going down to the cell and your body figuring it out and recalibrating and getting to where it needs to be. So she was back after 3 days. She was like, I'm back. After 6 months, she's surfing, right? But still at the point when I interviewed you and we shared your story, you were talking very slow. Like, and you were
Mhm.
saying before you couldn't even string together a sentence. That wasn't happening for you. You couldn't say a full sentence,
Yeah.
right? And so you were so brave. You jumped on that interview with me in the healing process. And the way you spoke was so clear, so coherent, which was already phenomenal. But it was a very slow, like this, and then the
Mhm.
next word, and then the next word. And you were like finding your words like this, almost
Mhm.
like I would say, like someone walking with a walker. Like you're walking,
Absolutely.
but you're grabbing onto it. And like, I found this word and this word and this word. And we did the whole interview like that. And you rocked it.
Yeah.
And now you're just like, yeah, da, 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 da. You're just,
I'm
it's
probably talking
amazing.
too fast. I'm just too excited.
Yeah. I talk really fast. Yeah, that means we're excited about the future and we're like, we're working on going places. So that's really fun. But no, for you guys that are thinking about this, I'm so passionate about it. Like if this piques your curiosity, if you haven't heard Natalie's Lyme story, reach out to if you know Natalie, reach out to Natalie. If you're on my feed, reach out to me. We'd love to like educate you on what activation is, and show you the business side of your if you're curious about it. It's been amazing for me. And I know that Natalie is just going to bring it home and have a beautiful future with her family.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I'm excited. Thank you for the time and just the capacity that I mean, you have a huge family to just do an interview, so we can share this with the people that need to hear it. Because yeah, that's just the hope.
Oh my gosh. I wish I could string in pictures of you from your treatment. But again, like go to our wellness page
Yeah,
and
go to the wellness
yeah.
page.
And you know what? I thought about you even before you like we got in touch yesterday. I was thinking about you every time I see ticks because of
Oh,
Lyme. I'm like, oh, Natalie, your story just like rings a bell for me. And I've been pulling them off because we're in the woods. You can't see right here, but like we're in the woods and we are
oh.
like pulling ticks off the kids all day long. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, thank God for activation.
Yeah, and like I mean they're everywhere. Thankfully, I'm at a place where my husband sweetfully has desensitized me to them to where I'm not afraid of them anymore because a lot of Lyme patients are very scared of them. They'll even like throw up seeing one. It's that bad. But
It's like
um,
PTSD, right?
yeah, you can't even look at those things. But yeah, activation really absolutely helps. There's a lot of, I mean, for another time, but there's a lot of ways you can contract it depending on genetics and being a female and all the things. But the other thing I could touch on is the physician that I'm working under. She has on her own personal blog. You can put like a drop of essential oil, like peppermint essential oil, and it will embed itself out rather than like taking tweezers and like crunching it or letting
Oh,
it meet.
interesting. Which
Yeah,
one?
the peppermint essential oil.
I love it. Okay, that's so good to know. Okay,
Yeah,
so you know what I'm thinking? We'll wrap up this talk, but I want to do a Wellness Wednesday with you. We can talk about all of this and dive into it.
that sounds great.
Let's
That
do
sounds
that.
great.
Okay,
Okay.
and if you guys pop any questions you have in the chat, and we're going to, this isn't live, it's live recorded, but we're gonna upload it to YouTube. So not YouTube, but Facebook. So just leave your questions there and comment, you know, wellness group if you want to get in our group, or more info if you want to get more info, or just if you've had an experience with Lyme, let us know. If you've had experience with activation, put it in the comments, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. But Natalie,
Yeah.
thanks so much for being on the call. I really appreciate it. I know you got those
Thanks,
things.
Andrea. Yeah, no, it's all good. Thankfully, our little
I
Asher's
know.
still snoozing.
She didn't wake up. That's
No.
perfect. Meant to
Yeah.
be. Meant to
Yeah.
be. All right,
Okay.
girl. Take it easy. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
Bye
Bye.
bye.